Welcome back to Tabletop Salt. I'm Ross, and today I'm going to be discussing the free rules future. That's been brought on because Kill Team have had their core rules now released for people to download and view, which is very handy, and Warcry seems to be the next game to possibly get these as well. Now, this is a great thing for consumers. Just having the rules on a digital format that people can get for free is going to be very helpful, and there's a lot of positives to having that. But I do think there's areas that Games Workshop may move forward with this idea and areas that they may not do so. So with that, let's have a talk about that. Today we got the release of the Kill Team core rules made for free, or at least a few pages that really condense the rules and hopefully make it easier for people to play as their core function. And we have got an indication that Warcry is going to come next. Now this is really good. The community seems very happy about this. And this is good as well because the rules generally were behind either quite an expensive box set or in a £30+ book. Now, you are going to need other books on top of this. I believe for Kill Team the compendium is still very necessary to buy to play the game, but I think this is overall a very large and positive move forward. It should just give people better access to play these games, and maybe better for new players as well, that they can simply just have a core part of the rules and understanding from a smaller PDF that they can download for free. And if they want to go further, then they can either buy the rulebook itself, or they also need to buy the compendium as well. Let's not forget that Games Workshop also released points for free, which was a great move for 40k fans. Now, I was a bit skeptical on this, not really skeptical, but I do remember that after their initial release of 9th edition, they did update the points at the end of 2020 and the start of 2021, then they pulled the free points away. But now they seem to be on the agreement that going forward, points for free is the best way. And I fully think this is good. It makes it easier for everyone to get up-to-date points extremely quickly and accurately. Gives Games Workshop access to update them so much easier, and generally everyone seems very, very pleased with these moves and these steps forward. So what could we see in the future with more products possibly going free? So how far can the free rules go? Now, I'm purely speculating here, and you can have all your doubts you want. I would imagine either the next editions or the following editions at the very latest of 40k and Age of Sigmar will go free to download. This is mainly coming from the difficulty of people keeping up with core rules in a printed format. You know, there is very much the viability of having printed formats because it is helpful for people who do struggle to have constant internet access, and having the core rules and able to buy miniatures and still play the game is very, very important. But for a lot of people, they do want to have the updated rules in one easy to read format. So having a digital core rulebook that Games Workshop can edit on the fly, essentially, and then people can read through it, does make it easier for new people that they can download the rules and they are completely up to date rather than an almost out of date book. Or people who are just continuously playing the game, they have been for a while, they have the updated rules there. I just think it's a positive way forward for them, and it'll just make the games a lot easier. I'd also say in terms of starter sets, a lot of people are actually buying them with the models in mind rather than the rules, and I think this was very much evident in Indomitus. I know loads of people who bought multiple sets of them because it was value for the models that they wanted to buy. So they may have bought 3 sets, and they usually kept one of the core rulebooks and then sold the rest of them, but they wanted the models. And I've seen that in the case in the Command and Elite Recruit box sets as well, though I believe only the Command one comes with a core rulebook. But basically a lot of people are preferring to maybe buy these for the models rather than the rulebook. So it goes to say that if people are buying them for the models, maybe the rules should just be made on a digital format, because there's a lot of bonuses towards doing that that helps the consumer. I would also note that many people do get their rules through other methods. You know, let's face it, piracy is a thing. And I think if Games Workshop got a step ahead, they made the core rules free and they made them the first area that get updated, it means that a lot of people's preferable route to actually get updated rules will be through Games Workshop. Now, the FAQs are also a good way to update. They are also useful to have the FAQs because they highlight the areas that have changed. So there might be an area that the FAQs are still necessary, just to have condensed bullet points of the changes that have happened recently. But having an area that you can just download the most accurate rules will be very handy for new time players, because, well, they know that the rules they are getting online are strictly the ones that are newest to them, and they can play the game as accurately as possible. And for older players who are playing in the edition, then if they've got any rule disputes, they can go to one area and they know that that is the most up-to-date area. As for Horse Heresy and the Old World, when it does come out, I don't know if these will be possibly made free. I have doubts, because Horse Heresy is new, they're still selling the core rulebook, and it is still something many people are buying, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. As for the Old World, I have no idea, but if it proves popular at having core rules on their site and lots of people going to them, then you never know. These areas may end up having their rules updated onto their website as well. That'll give people easier access to view them. Now onto the areas that I doubt will be free, and this is going to be the codexes or battle tomes in the case of Age of Sigmar. This is an area that I believe Games Workshop really do still make a huge sizable amount of sales from their printed updates for every of their core codexes that they produce. They do need to cover a lot of costs on these. There is rule writing teams, artwork, graphic designers for the layout, etc. when they are producing these books, and there is quite a sizable amount of these books they do produce. Many people think sometimes too many, which is a completely different conversation for another time. Games Workshop will be also very aware that there are, again, other means that people get these codex rules from, and so they've got to measure the cost of all these rules that they write, they create, and they make the books. The artwork are fantastic for them, versus being the preferred resource for them, because if they did make them free, they would be the preferred resource and people would probably go to them, but there is costs that are associated to them. A possible solution would be to put them on Warhammer Plus and allow the codexes free there when you have a subscription. At the moment, I believe you have to have the codex, you buy it, you get the code, and that does put it on Warhammer Plus. But I feel if they actually just make the codexes free, if you have a current Warhammer Plus subscription, maybe if you have a 12-month one, then it's like, no question, you will get these codexes, and that would greatly bring the sense of value for the service up. I think it would be a huge boom for the subscription service. Now, a lot of people's preferences will be just make the codexes free, make the rules for all your games free, and that gives easier access for people to actually engage with them. But I am aware that there is a sense of cost for all these rules that they do create, and they do need to work out ways to cover them, which at the moment Games Workshop seems to be doing quite well at doing, but I just somehow doubt that the codex and battle tomes would actually go fully free. So this is maybe an alternative that might work. It does remind me a little bit of the movie and TV industry at the moment, where they're trying to weigh the balance of bringing their movies and shows onto their subscription services versus putting them out in, say, cinemas. And that's just a lot with the changing modern times that people view content or they consume people's products. Would this one be useful for Games Workshop, that they have all their codexes on Warhammer Plus if you go into their subscription service? I think it would really help the subscription service a lot. There's an argument that Games Workshop in this regard may be moving further towards a model-based company versus a game/rule company, where the quality of minis for Games Workshop in the past decade have been phenomenal. I really do think they have knocked out the park with many of them at the moment. But the thing that they have caused a little bit of controversy on is their cost. Rules have been an area that I feel Games Workshop have kind of struggled with. I do think there have been huge improvements in rules, but there's also been areas that have been lacking. Though let me be clear, I still believe Games Workshop is still fully dedicated to producing great models and great games as well. But if we start seeing more free rules and they're not generating as much profit from them, then they may push more towards being model based. I believe that's me just speculating. I still genuinely believe that they actually prefer having both these as great models and great games. Then again, looking at recent sort of their reports, that they are moving to become an IP-based company. They have made quite a bit of profit when it comes to having their IP out in different formats. So there's that as well. But again, this is me just talking about different things in that regard. I just want to look at the areas at the moment when it comes to these free rules, and I just do not see them doing that for their Codex based books. And that is it for my thoughts on the free rules future. Now, I think this is largely a positive step forward. Having free rules does mean easier access for so many people, new and old. I haven't really played too much of Kill Team. I mainly played in 7th edition, where I had a lot of fun with that. And I'd be intrigued to pick up again, and having them for free really does help in that regard. As for the future, I am entirely speculating. I really do hope that they maybe more move towards having the core rules free, have them updated a lot more easier so that people can view them easier and check their rules so that they're playing the game as accurately as possible. And I think there is a format to do that. But in terms of other areas, we don't know when it comes to Games Workshop. There is the large rumour of 10th edition coming up. We'll probably see it either next year or the following year. There's big rumours that it's going to happen next year. And it'll be very, very interesting to see how that pans out. If it comes out, the core rulebook would be free. I think that'd be an excellent move for consumers and largely would be very, very happy for people. So what is your thoughts? The free rules future, is it coming? Is it not? Let me know. Thanks again for listening. Please comment, share, like and subscribe. Check us out on social media for projects we're working on. I've got a whole bunch of photos because I have finished a whole bunch of models, which is great. Some of them I'm absolutely delighted with. Nothing better than painting some models and being really, really pleased with them. So I'm looking forward to getting them posted. Thanks again, and we'll see you on another Tabletop Assault Battle Report.